Wahoo! It's a me, Ren! Do not worry, I will not do that voice for the entirety of this review, but I will sprinkle it in. Welcome back, video game and movie fans, to my review of the Super Mario Bros. Film, a movie that has been long gestating in Nintendo's trauma from the past adaptation.
Name? Mario. Last name?
Mario.
Okay, what's your name?
Luigi.
Luigi?
No, Luigi Mario.
And in this movie, Brooklyn plumbing brothers Mario and Luigi are transported down a mysterious pipe and wander into a magical new world. It's an adaptation of Super Mario. You don't really need me to tell you the plot. But as a frame of reference, I don't remember a point in my life where I don't know of Mario, where I don't immediately recognize and at least have a connection to the iconography, to the imagery, to the rules, and even the lore per se of the Super Mario video games. That being said, I have never owned and really played a Mario game until the Switch Mario Kart Deluxe 8 video game. I was not a Mario kid. When it comes to Nintendo, I had a Game Boy and I played Pokemon. And that has stood to this very day. Even so, all that I just said about recognizing the iconography, about it being a part of my life in a sense, is very true. As another frame of reference, I'm not a fan of Illumination. I find their storytelling, their animation style subpar, underwhelming, and sometimes downright lazy. So I went into this film having a connection to Mario, wanting in my heart to really love it, but very trepidatious of its association with Illumination. All that said, when it comes to the visuals, the aesthetics, everything on a surface level is brought directly from the games. If Super Mario, Peach, Luigi, Toad, the entire worlds of Mario, if you want that to be brought to life in animation style, this is the way to do it. This film looks spectacular. It is so vibrant. It is so lively in every shot. You feel like you're watching something completely new, completely different, despite recognizing it from the games. But when it comes to watching a movie, an animated film, all the recognizable Easter eggs and little references, not just to Super Mario, but to the wider Nintendo universe, it's all here. And it truly feels like a sincere love letter, not to fans, but to the games themselves, because they don't just pull from a Super Mario game, they don't just pull from select Super Mario games, they pull out of everything. Where you have Super Mario Kart, you have Donkey Kong in this film, where in the first Donkey Kong game, you played as Mario, which was known as Jumper Man at the time. There are literal power-ups, moves in general, and environments plucked right out of Super Smash Bros. And the way the film is directed even, it's very creative with where it places the camera, whether you're watching these characters do anything really, and it feels like they understand the games, they understand the story. These directors, these writers are true Mario fans, and you can feel that love, which makes the entire viewing experience absolutely delightful. It's charming, it's cute, it is fluff, and we will get to that in a bit. But I had a smile on my face throughout the whole time. I also think the entire voice cast brings it. There's a sense of familiarity, of too much familiarity, with some of the cast where it's Chris Pratt voicing Mario, it's Charlie Day voicing Luigi, it's Seth Rogen, just being Seth Rogen, voicing Donkey Kong. But that's the classic Illumination strategy, which again, we will get to in a bit. But Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach, Jack Black as Bowser, who brings his tenacious D-ness brought all the way up to 100 to play this character, and somehow, magically, it just fits. Not only that, the score by Brian Tyler, who, much like the directors and writers, feels like a true fan, where he takes all the familiar musical motifs of Mario and just ramps it up once more, proving himself one of the most underrated composers working today. There's just a lot to like in this film if you're at all a fan of Mario, whether you're like me and you don't necessarily ever got into the games very hardcore, but it's always been a part of your life, or you're a hardcore Mario fan who has always played the games, who knows all the details about the story and knows every version of the games that ever existed. That said, there's a lot of Illumination-ness in this film. And while they clearly put that in the back burner, they put the love for Mario, they put the identity of Super Mario and the Super Mario Bros. In first place, there are some cracks showing. Like we talked about, there's a bit of Illumination-ness in this, where not every joke necessarily hits. Most of them do, which is shocking for me to say in an Illumination film, and this is easily the funniest and the best visually, and maybe narratively even though we'll get to that in a bit, Illumination film by a mile. But it just feels like they can't help themselves sometimes, and that Illumination identity really seeps through at points where there are needle drops of real songs. Great songs, by the way. Songs I listen to on a regular basis, but they don't really fit into this Mario world. It feels jarring and really takes you out of the film. Furthermore, the celebrity voices. Again, I think everyone does a great job, particularly Chris Pratt, who, like everyone else, I was very doubtful of playing Mario. He's good in this role, and the film kind of acknowledges it, winks at the audience with a whole controversy about the voice. He certainly sounds better in the film than he does in the trailers, but there's still a bit of a distraction in there because everyone is playing so much with their own voice. The only one that works with that is Jack Black, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Keegan-Michael Key is the one that stretches it in a whole different direction, as told. More to the point of there being an illuminationness to the film, there really isn't a plot. There really isn't a narrative. There are principles, there are beginning of arcs, per se, but the film feels like a very fast-paced, at points too fastly paced, bunch of sequences that are recognizable with these characters in these certain situations, and a bunch of iconography is pulled and thrown at you through the screen. But in terms of a narrative, it is very paper thin. And to the film's point, in that sense, it knows exactly what it is, but it moves so fast and so furious, no pun intended, you sometimes can't even breathe and really absorb some of the most fun character interactions, some of the better jokes in the film, and really relish in how they so faithfully brought the world and these characters to life on screen. It's just something that really needs to be acknowledged, and I can see why a lot of people would have a huge flaw with this film because of the lack of a plot. It just moves from sequence to sequence, and let's bring this to life, let's bring this to life, and there's fun in that. Obviously, the third act in this film goes completely crazy. That's the one part in this film that completely caught me by surprise. When, oh, they're gonna do this way? That's fun. But it's just lacking a plot, or it goes for the joke, for the joke, for the joke of, let's see this brought to life, or let's see that brought to life. And that, once again, is very much the Illumination kind of strategy when it comes to their storytelling. They realize with some movies what works in terms of jokes, and when you have sequels like Minions 2, like Despicable Me 2 and 3, like Secret Life of Pets 2, you just have a completely lack of plot, and it leans a bit too hard into just being funny and a high energy. And so it becomes, at points, noise. Where it's fun, you have a really enjoyable, like I said, delightful time watching this. But does it really linger in memory? Not really. Like I said, it's just a bit of fluff. Again, that's inherently a little bit of the identity of Mario, but through the Illumination way of bringing stories to life. I don't want to sound too negative because I had fun with this film. I'm recommending it. So before I dive into my final thoughts on the Super Mario Bros. Movie, I need you to start the conversation about it in the comments below. Let me know your favorite Mario game, your earliest memories of Super Mario, whether you saw the live action movie, whether you watched the show, whether you played one of the games since you were a kid, anything and everything down there. And if you're enjoying this review, there's many more reviews right up here on my channel. I talk about all sorts of great movies and TV shows. So if you want to talk more movies and TV based on video games or not, this is the place to be. Consider clicking that subscribe button and you won't miss any future conversations on your favorite movies and TV. Overall, the Super Mario Bros. Movie does Mamma Mia! Gorgeous animation, fully embraces the games and its worlds so faithfully, so vibrantly, and what a score too. It is not life-changing, but there is just a little bit of everything for every Mario fan to love. I'm giving the Super Mario Bros. Movie a B-. Thank you so much for watching, Super Mario fans. I cannot wait to know your stories with Mario and your thoughts on this film. I'm also headed to Star Wars Celebration this weekend, so there might be some content about whatever is revealed there if there's something important. And next week, Evil Dead Rise. Big shout out to my channel members for always supporting the channel. And until the next one, love each other and love the movies.